Anyway, if that sounds great.
Vinny, quick question, mate. Love your life, right? You meet them, right? Out and about in the club, right? But when they reach, male or female, I don't know what you're up to, but when they reach the point of climax, they just go like this. With that face.
I would love them even more. I'd find it endearing.
My intro for that.
Well, it's just so important.
Okay. Hello everyone across the world. Welcome to Goats, the show where each week myself and Vinny relentlessly bully Seb for not being as good a friend as we are to each other.
Yes!
And we also pick the best one out of a bunch of shit. And we just pick a topic and one of us is like, yo, this is the best one. And the other one's like, yo, I think you're both wrong, but okay, fuck it. One of you's right. Well, if you're liking the start of this extremely professional podcast, go and follow us on all our socials, links in the description, and also make sure that you give us all your money on our Patreon, donate it there so we can buy more crack. With that out of the way, what's been going on with you two fucking geezers?
Yes, it's my birthday today.
Oh, is it me? Happy birthday, best friend.
Thank you, best friend.
Absolutely, mate.
It's crazy. I found out today I was born on the same day as Julian Alvarez. Isn't that crazy?
Off.
Who just scored?
Stop stealing my birthday.
Good as Diego Jota.
It's my birthday.
Oh yeah. I forgot. It's not my birthday.
Happy
it's your birthday,
Seb.
Sebek. Happy birthday, mate.
Goats, gangs, wish Seb a happy birthday. He's a big boy now. He's
27.
37.
27. Perfect year to die, isn't it?
Oh, I know. I made
good,
it through. I actually didn't die at 27, which is probably...
Well, as long as one of us does, I'm the last one who can do it.
Oh, yeah, mate. Go on.
Go on.
Shall I bin myself just for the vibes?
Nah,
it'd probably be a bit weird, wouldn't it? I reckon that's one of them jokes that would be funny for a minute, but it would wear off.
Yeah. Oh, he's actually dead. Oh
no.
Oh no.
Right. But yeah, obviously it is my birthday today. And this weekend I went to this very nice restaurant. Luz took me to this place called Sketch in London, which is like a sort of, it's just a very fancy, cool restaurant that do got a vegan cream tea. I'm not a vegan. Stop air quoting cool, Michael. It was cool.
A vegan cream tea?
Yeah, because I can't eat dairy, can I? So it's a real luxury for me to be able to have a cream tea.
No, I was taking a piss because I was like, what's vegan in a fucking cream tea? Water.
The cream.
I was like, what?
The cream.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think about these things.
Anyway, it was all very arty, right?
Yeah.
And cool, and it's like a bit of a vibe, and everything's kind of like, it's one of them things where you're like, are you being a vibe, to the wait staff and that? You're like, are you being weird?
Are you being a part? Are you playing?
Are you like a bit? Is this like a bit? Anyway, the point was about halfway through, I was like, I've eaten the thing with one of these multi-course meals is that rich people don't eat all of it. But I'm not a rich person, so I'm just like, well, there's 16 cakes on the cake rack. I'm obviously going to eat one. I'm not fucking stupid, am I? Do I look like, come on.
Do I look like a mug?
Yeah, do I look like a mug? The missus is paying for this. I'm going to get every fucking penny's worth. Yeah. So about halfway through, I start needing a shit. And I open
Of course.
How does that make sense? Your food doesn't you eat a massive meal fucking hell.
No, but sometimes you have got
it pushes everything down, I feel like.
Sometimes you gotta make room. Anyway, right. So I open the doors to toilets and I'm just gonna send you the video of what I seen. Because I opened the door into the toilets and I just stood just in bewilderment for a second. I'm gonna send it on the WhatsApp. Check this shit out.
Yeah. This is either going to be quite placid or quite horrendous.
Do I have your permission to play it on the VOD?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go for it.
Right, here it is on the VOD, boys.
So you're already in the bog at this point?
No, I've just opened the doors into the bathroom.
Where's the toilet?
Well, you're going to find out.
What the hell is this place?
Mate, fuck that.
What the fuck?
Mate, I'm not shitting in a tube. What is? I'm not shitting in an egg.
What?
Nah, that's too far.
How nuts is that?
It's like something from
That's-
a Wes Anderson film.
Yeah, I said to Luce, I came back and I was like, I just went for a Stanley Kubrick shit. And she was like, what? And I was like, Luce, you've got to go in there.
Yeah.
And then she like walked in and then like, I saw her do the same thing where she like opened the door and just stood with the doors open.
Because the women's cubicle was just a trough.
I know, because what the fuck are you gonna do that? But no, like, because obviously it just opens up these massive gold doors, and like it's enormous. Like it's so much bigger. This huge room full of eggs. Like I thought it was just gonna be like the fucking like the toilets of spoons, and I'm like, there's like a fucking coliseum in here full of eggs, full of shit, and I'm
That
like,
is
what
nuts.
the fuck?
It's like you go in there, close the door, you get cryogenically frozen.
Honestly, I thought my poo was gonna like talk to me or something. It was mad. Also,
That's too much for me.
the second time I went in there, I had this really weird moment, and I had to come back. And this is what I mean by tend to like, is it part of the experience? I came back to Luce, and I was like, when you went in there, was there a French maid bending over showing her knickers? And Luce was like, no. And I was like, I don't know if I just imagined it, but when I went in, there was a woman dressed in like an old-fashioned French maid outfit, bent over like something from a pin-up poster, dusting the bottom step and showing me her bottom and knickers. And she was like, what? And I was like, I don't know. I just opened the doors and it was there. That was the first time. The second time I went in, because I wanted to make the most of it, went for a wee. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was just like, and I like, opened the doors and went like, oh, sorry. And she just was like, no problem. And she like spoke in a French accent. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I like, walked upstairs and went for a wee and felt really weird. And I fuck you not, when I came back down, she was gone.
Mate, maybe you're schizophrenic.
I honestly
Like-
think this is if I go wrong, you need to clip this and send it to my therapist because there could be
Okay.
someone in here.
Yeah.
Like that is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I think.
yeah. I reckon it's probably just one. I don't reckon it's a bit. I reckon it's just they have weird people working out, just don't give a fuck, and they're kind of weird attracts weird, doesn't it? If you walk
Yeah,
into
true.
if me and you walked in for a job application and they were like, "Is the toilets you're going to be cleaning?" You'd be like, "No, I'm fucking not." Like this place is nuts. But if you're a weirdo, you're like, "Yeah, I'll clean the eggs in my knickers and my main outfit."
If you're
no problem. I
French,
don't know.
yeah.
And if you're
mean,
French,
yeah,
that's what French people do, innit? I like give a fuck, you know.
They clean
You either
weird
say-
bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the French, isn't it? Down to a T.
Yeah.
I did also have another thing happen. I've got. I just
So many
noticed that
things.
you
Go for
two
it.
were
I
complaining.
have
that
nothing
not enough-
interesting to say, so don't worry.
Go for
So
it.
this sounds boring to begin with, but it is. It's
Oh,
not.
fucking lunch rations again, is it?
So here's the thing. It's another life hack. No, I'm joking.
Oh no.
I did listen back to that and was like, this is the low point. You need to, you need to do more in your life.
Yeah.
Life hacks with Seb is not a
This
feature
is
I want to
grim.
continue.
Anyway, so obviously me and Luce are moving out of the house and into a boat. And part of that, I mean, that is mental in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got to a point now where I've stopped feeling anxious when I say it out loud. But for a minute, like there was a gap. Like me and Luce were like, it's a great idea. It's going to be the best thing in the world. Blah, blah. And then we were just, I said this last week, we just stood at this, looking at this boat like, what the fuck is that? It's like
gotta
60
live in
foot
a boat.
long. It's in the water.
Are you still
Well, I'm
feeling
not
that way,
aquatic.
or
No, I feel great now. I'm like back
Okay.
round. Just had a bit of a dip. But dealing with some of the what's it called? The bills and that. And obviously got to get, you know, fucking just like there's like a billion things you got to phone off me like I don't want heating no more, and they're like, you sure? And I'm like, I'm moving out, and they're like, where are you moving to? And I'm like, a boat, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, you can't heat my boat. There's no way.
Yeah.
Just fuck off.
Yeah.
Cancel my contract. I've had
Yeah,
that with like
yeah.
a million things. Like they're like, are you sure you don't
Yeah.
want your same internet plan? And I'm like,
No.
I definitely don't, because I'm on a boat, aren't I? So what are you going to do? Like I actually cannot have the thing that you want me to have. Anyway, so we're around in circles. I phone up the fucking energy people and I'm like, boys, there's something weird going on here. I've gone into my account and I'm in £900 in credit. So I've got £900 unused in my account. Well, that's really weird. Like, it's not like it's a savings account. What the fuck's going on here? And she's like, oh, fuck. Turns out we haven't been taking any money off of your account for 6 months. And I was like, oh, you're fucking kidding me. So then So basically, I've already seen this. I've gone home and told Luce, fucking hell, Luce, we've got to spare 900 quid in the kitty. That'll
No,
get
you
some
gotta tell
boat
her
stuff
you
done. And then they're like, oh, no, it's not. And then she's like, you might actually have to pay us some money. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
fucking hell. They go off, dealing with that. Takes some fucking days. I'm emailing this woman like, can you tell me what the fuck's going on? I'm doing this countdown where I'm like, I'm leaving my house in a week. If you haven't sorted it, you can't find me. I live on a boat. So get it sorted now. Get an email today. Mr. Lark, we're really sorry. There seems to have been a mix-up. We actually owe you £1,580.
Really?
What?
I know. I felt like I pulled the best card from the chance thing in a game of Monopoly.
How much were you paying a month for your electricity?
Anyway.
Should we go into this?
Yeah, as thrilling as talk about gas bills is for about 5 minutes. I think we should probably get on topic.
Well, that was so long, it could be considered an art form, I'd say. What do you reckon, Mork?
Well, what I reckon is that this week we are talking about the GOAT artistic movement. Mm-hmm. And this is a subject that I literally know nothing about. And so I'm hosting, great. But because I know nothing, I'm not joking, fuck all, sweet FA, nothing about this subject. I had to do a bit of research on it.
Ooh.
And obviously I got bored. So I just decided to do things a little bit differently and kind of take over the podcast. So I hope you two are prepared.
Okay.
Because here it comes. I thought we should have a debate, not about art, because that's fucking boring, but about a question that I'm very invested in. And I know that you both probably have differing opinions on, so it will create a good debate. The question is, this is a big one. Is XG a worthwhile stat in football? I want to know if you guys think that it's important to consider XG when looking at attacking players in modern football. Or is it just some extra nonsense stat that realistically we don't need to pay too much attention to because, like, you know, you can just look at the tangibles. Personally, I'm a massive nerd, so I think that it's a very important measurement of what you can, you know, you can't see and what you can't actually quantify, but then it can show areas of improvement or even areas where players or teams are massively overperforming or running hot, and it gives credible evidence to say this team or player is probably not as good as you think they are, or not as good as the tangible stats suggest, you know, where they are on the table, or they're better than where it suggests. You know, you can back that up with proper evidence to indicate. But I don't know. Who wants to go first? What do I know?
Where are you going with this?
That's it. I was like, fuck art, it's boring. Let's just talk about XG.
I mean, it's an interesting question because I was actually thinking about this on
Nah,
my
I'm joking. I'm joking. I wish I wasn't. Nah, for real. Like, right, let's
Get ready to be bored, listeners. This host doesn't care about this topic. We're all bored here. You're going to be bored.
I was just skirting around it because I was like, look, I don't know nothing about. I just want to talk about football, but now I've got it off my chest. We'll talk about art. What is an art movement? Well, according to Wikipedia, because I don't know, it is a tendency or style in art with a specific artistic philosophy or goal. Modern art, don't know. Expressionism, impressionism,
Isn't modern
really
art just an umbrella
don't know.
term?
Renaissance, I know what that is.
Yeah,
It's like DiCaprio and shit, isn't it?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And all of these
Leonardo DiCaprio.
yeah, all of these are like different art
Great.
movements.
Catch me now.
And in my stupid
That was art.
non-art brain,
DiCaprio. If that was a joke, that's one of the best jokes ever made. If that wasn't a joke,
what?
that's even funnier.
Me saying DiCaprio.
Yeah.
That was a joke. I know Leonardo DiCaprio, the actor, not Leonardo
Oh, thank
da
God for
Vinci.
that. Yeah, all right, good.
I'm not asking. Give me credit where it's due. I'm not funny because I'm thick. I'm funny because I'm funny.
It's
mate.
a fine point. I was talking to my therapist about this genuinely the other day. I was saying how
Not about
when you play the fool, it's the most frustrating thing. The most frustrating thing is when people start getting in on the joke and they're like, yeah, you fucking idiot. And you're like, no, wait, no. I'm joking, but you don't get to join in. That's bullshit. And then you have to like backpedal and say something clever. You're like, wait, whoa, no.
Yeah. I love playing the fool though. It's hilarious. And in my stupid full art, don't understand art brain, I just fit it into like movies. Artistic movements are like genres of movies. Action, comedy, drama, horror, whatever it might be.
All those.
It's like an art style that is driven behind it, like driving it along is like codes and conventions that make it kind of recognizable as a particular style, or particular artists really get involved in that kind of movement. But what's the best and for what reasons? Well, I haven't got a fucking clue. So the only art movement I care about, obviously, is scoring banging goals. But that's why I thought in you two experts, you two absolute artistic demons, to convince me what is the greatest art movement of all time. Who actually wants to go first?
I will.
Sebek?
I'll let you go first.
Lead
It's
the
your
way.
birthday.
Thank you very much. I mean, I don't know if it might actually
But Vinny, you
be...
are my best friend, so you technically outrank.
Art means a lot of things to a lot of people. Are you timing me? What's going on here?
No, go on.
So, yeah, look, here's the thing.
Hang on, I ain't got my timer up yet.
Right. Here's the thing. This is by far and away one of the most difficult concepts, isn't it? Because A, what even is art? Who fucking knows? There's a lot of debate about that. What's an art movement? Two questions at the very beating heart of this episode, and yet inherently frustrating. To me, I had a think, and I thought, well, art in itself, I guess, is a form of expression. That's what I think of it as. Is expressing yourself visually or through any kind of medium. Verbal expression, physical expression, artistic expression. I feel like any kind of expression becomes art. Obviously, we said previously that we weren't going to talk about interpretive dance or anything like that. This was kind of more traditional forms of art.
Paintings and shit.
Sculptures, paintings, pictures.
Sculptures and things like that. However, it kind of gets to this point where the trouble is like, if you start judging art, you start to kind of judge people's quite a deep rooted version of it. Like, it's quite like it. I always think it takes a lot to just put something out there, and so
depends. It depends. You can judge the ridiculous stuff. Like, I saw a video on Twitter the other day. A bloke had these buckets full of sand. He pushed them over. They fell over. This was in an actual art gallery in London. He just pushed the buckets over. They just fell over randomly. Everyone was like, and then when he went, it's done, they all were like, fucking hell, brilliant. Fucking brilliant. That's brilliant.
I don't want to get into this discussion. I can't be bothered.
I was just like, whoa,
I can't
what?
be bothered.
But
I agree with what you're saying. However, I still think that
that's his expression.
That's his expression, and I feel like everyone has a right to say what they want to say. And obviously, if you then start to criticize someone's art or the art movement, you're kind of starting to criticize like them as a person a little bit. And I feel like it's one thing to criticize technique, but because an art movement is kind of like you said earlier, it's like a chosen set of codes or traditions, or it's about, it's a chosen, it's basically what, if art is expression, then an art movement is either a choice on what to express or how to express it, or both. So you're either saying, I think we should all talk about this one topic, and that becomes its own art movement. Like, for instance, like the punk movement, that's an art movement of itself. And that is like, that doesn't have a specific, it does have a style to a degree, but it's not about doing everything in one way, but it's about saying something as a collective, and that's a movement. Or you take a certain type of painting or something like post-impressionism, and you say, well, that's a group of people choosing how to express their own personal expressions. And it just feels a bit harsh to take one of them things and say, oh, that's not as good as this because you're thinking wrong. Like the thing that you're trying to express is worth less than the thing that they're trying to express. Like that's kind of like.
Yeah, I think that's where you need to be careful. That's probably like, yeah. So I would say you can be subjectively critical of art because you can say, I don't like this thing because it doesn't appeal to me. But I can, like objectively saying this is not worthwhile is not good. Do you know what I mean? But you can say, I don't like that bucket thing because it doesn't appeal to me whatsoever. And that's fine to say, but to say it's not worthwhile, it shouldn't exist is probably not right because like you said, it's his thing. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter. Just don't watch it if you don't like it. Yeah, exactly.
And I also think like without meaning to get really deep, like you don't know what that bucket thing represents to him, and it might just be like I'm quite a cynical person. I've seen it done. I've seen people do that kind of art for art's sake. We've had this conversation before where like I do think that one of the things that's gone a bit wonky and puts people off engaging with art is this kind of art specifically for artists. I feel like Vinny, you said that before, like once like everything is kind of destined to become a bit pretentious eventually because like people just start to like it starts to like cannibalize itself. It's like a snake eating its own tail where like I personally think art should be made for everyone, and when you start making art that's just for artists and then all of the art currently being produced seems to be kind of questioning like what is art.
I think that's hypocritical. I don't think everything should be for everything. I think everything can be whatever it wants to be. I think art for everyone's sake, fair enough, but I also respect art that I will never understand and only 20 people in this world will ever have any appreciate for. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, because that is, to be fair, that is their expression thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. So, and that
I think it's funny though. Sorry, the last thing, because it's weird how we do this with art. I was just thinking then, specifically, we do this with art where we go, well, that art is like shit. No one should pay attention to that, which is wrong. What we're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we don't do that with like movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or any other form of anything. Like we say, I don't like horror movies, but people do. So never mind. We don't say, well, horror movies are shit. They take no talent to make. They're boring. It's just jump scares. They just shouldn't exist. It's worthless. It's not as good as high drama. People don't do that. They just go, I just don't like them. What? But we don't do that with art. It's weird, isn't it?
That is like exactly. And I kind of started really dwelling on that and like this idea that I didn't really want to turn around and say like I don't think that someone else's thing is as good as someone else's and whatever.
And
I started trying to find like, is there a form of art or an artistic movement that most represents that feeling within me that anyone choosing to express something in any way they choose to express it artistically is worthwhile? And I started thinking about like all them little things that give me joy when I see people expressing themselves that might not be traditionally thought of as art. So for instance, like this is a really random example, but like football tifos, like one of them massive banners that people put up in stadiums, and it's like a 700 fucking foot, well not 700 foot, that'd be well-eyed, but it's like
a 100-foot picture of Jurgen Klopp's face at Borussia Dortmund.
Exactly. Or like, yeah, it's like a fucking 100-foot.
There'll be one at Anfield in 19th of May, mate. Fucking Jurgen.
But this is the thing, but like that in itself gives me like, I get this like warm feeling from that, but I kind of don't get from a lot of other forms of art because it's like the purest form of expression. It's like, I fucking love Jurgen Klopp. I want to say thank you to him for giving me this joy. How do I do it? All right, I'm going to put all this time and effort into making this massive thing. I'm going to pour my heart and soul into it, and then we're just going to make it, and it's going to be huge, and he's going to see it, and it's going to be this big expression of my joy and love for that person.
Yeah,
and I love that kind of stuff.
I think what makes Tifo so cool is that it's not just one guy. It's the whole like
it's the whole
bank
group.
of that stadium. It's the whole like side of the stadium. It's the whole like ultras that all design that together. Like all it's
a whole club. Effectively,
it's a community
exactly
project. It's a whole thing, which is what makes it so cool.
And that's why I started looking into the sort of art that represents a culture, like art, the kind of art that represents like a culture, whether that's like a tribal culture or just a culture of movement, like a culture of music or a culture of sport or a culture of like just a group of people who live in a certain area or any of these different things. And I found my way to this art movement called folk art. And folk art is art that is made from objects which have utility normally. And what that means is effectively all art created by just people. And it's that kind of intangible feeling of when something that kind of used to just be a craft, that used to just be like something people made because it needed to be made, starts to verge over onto being an art form of itself. Like, for instance, the first TIFO probably was just a big banner that said, "We fucking love Jurgen Klopp," or whatever. And it's just got writing on it. And then at some point, someone goes, "Oh, we should do a picture." And then it becomes more and more involved and gets its own sense of community and its own sort of artistic passion until it becomes its own form of art.
Like knitting.
Like knitting, exactly like that. That's a perfect example.
People just used to knit shit because they were like, "Mate, I'm cold, need a fucking jumper." Knit one up. Now, no one needs to knit a jumper anymore, but bare grannies are
No, but it's true.
They're knitting like patterns to like look cool, to like cool decorations. They're now making it artistic and expressing their personality through this little craft that was started out of necessity.
Exactly that. And that is my favorite kind of art. And that is folk art. And effectively folk art, like I said, is art that is generally, not always, made from objects that had originally had some form of utility, and then over time developed a kind of culture and a mode of expression. Because those objects were being used a lot, people started to express themselves through those objects, and then they became their own form of art. And that in itself is folk art. And
folk as in folk?
Yeah, folk as in like folk music.
FOLK.
Yeah, folk art. And what I really enjoy about this idea of folk art is that it does exactly what I was saying earlier, where instead of taking away the merit of anyone else's by saying it's good, you are by default giving credit to every form of artistic expression, whether that is someone who is, an example of this would be, I don't know if you've ever seen like the really decorative trucks in like Southeast Asia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is
they're
folk
like lorries
art.
of like the crazy. They have like carpets on them and all crazy ass shit and neon and
exactly. And some of them are so well done, not well done, but have so much effort put into them, and they are genuinely painted on to the point where it's like a fine art. Like someone is sat there with a paint and an easel and a fucking, what are them things called, where you got the palette and you're like painting it, and they are painting a work of art on this truck, and that has worth. But it also goes right down to fucking, I don't know, some geezer who just really likes making spoons, and he just makes really decorative spoons, and that's his thing, and that's his way of artistically expressing himself.
That's cool. I like that.
And I really, really enjoy it. And I think it represents, rather than pushing away any form of art, like I said, it accepts all of them. And I think it probably, what it does, it applies to every culture on earth. Every single culture you can think of has some form of folk art, whatever that may be. And what I really enjoy about it is, while the things that I find enjoyable might not be the same things you find enjoyable, there is probably, or I would say almost certainly, a kind of folk art that we all enjoy. My personal I used to think of it as a bit of a guilty pleasure, but I'm more it's just something I enjoy. I fucking love modified cars. I don't know why. They just make me smile. They make me laugh. There's something about...
Everyone likes modified cars.
There's something about watching well, that's the thing. Like, you don't get it, but from my perspective, I love watching someone who's taken this object that was purely for utility. It was just a fucking car, an A to B, especially like in modified car culture, where it's normally just like a literal runabout. Like, it's not some supercar. It's a car that was designed to get your shopping from the shops to your house. And just by investing time and effort and your hard-earned money, you create this thing that is completely impractical and obnoxious and loud and silly, and it just makes me smile. Like, when I see someone, I literally, every time I'm in the street, you'll see like some fucking Honda Civic that can't get over a fucking speed bump, and there's a million people staring at them tutting, and it just
what a twat.
It just makes me smile because it's just expression. It's just I've got this thing and I'm making it express. I've turned it from something that was just a utility into something that makes me happy, and I feel like there's a million different ways of doing that, and that could include fucking, I don't know, people who are just obsessed with Pokemon and they decide to just make a bunch of fucking Pokemon fan fiction.
I've got a bit of that here, actually right here.
Let me see.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there it is. It's a big penis.
It's a giant wooden penis. Now
Give
that
right to the fans. It's been varnished. It's about that big.
It's fucking whopping.
It's very smooth. You would not get a splinter off this.
No.
Although you've tried.
So don't worry about it. It's very highly detailed, and it was made. Shout outs to Tom's dad. Made this.
Shouts to
and
Tom's
I bought
dad.
it off him at one of his art exhibitions. Biggest one he had.
At Tom's underscore dad. Find him on Twitter and Instagram.
Link in the bio.
Link in the bio.
For giant wooden penises. But yeah, like
I bought the biggest one, so you can have it.
What's mine? Seb? What is folk art? I still don't really know what it is. You've said it's sort of anything. It sounds like it's anything.
It's not anything. That it kind of is, but it does have a specific kind of. There is stuff that is and stuff that isn't folk art. So I'll just read the definition. Oh fucking hell! I've got the wrong thing up. Folk art. I had it written down. I've lost it.
So I've got it because I've been looking on Wikipedia, and it just says folk art covers all forms of visual art made in the context of folk culture. So,
to me, and this is kind of the one I was going off, is it's a traditional or decorative form of a utilitarian object that has come to represent a people or society. So, I would say, for instance, basket weaving is a folk art. It's one of those things that started off as a utility. It was just designed to make a basket, and then you took it and it allowed you to represent who you are as a person.
Now you can make all sorts like knitting, car modifying, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
There's some stuff which is on the edge. Like for instance, I would say tattooing is kind of a grey area because while it is a very traditional and very like working class art of the people, it doesn't really have a utility.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't have a utility other than it being decorative. I think that's kind of where it comes in. Like basket weaving was necessary because people needed to carry shit. But then they were like, well, let's make nice ones that just look nice. They have no utility anymore.
But then the other argument for something like tattooing is that folk art is decorative, turning something with utility into something decorative. And is there anything with more utility than your own body? Like, for instance, if you were to decorate your home in a specific style, that is in itself folk art. I would say, I was going to get to this in a minute, but I would say you could follow the track of folk art right back to the first people who decided to decorate their spears to represent their specific tribe, or decorate their cave in a certain way because that's how we do it, and that's how we define our people. Now, obviously, but like tattooing is on the...
But surely not anything in your house that's decorative is folk art, just by the fact that it's in something that is utilitarian, i.e. a house. Just because, like, if you have a painting in a house doesn't make it folk art just because it's in a house, surely.
No, yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think decorating and
I think
tattooing, I wouldn't class as because like I don't think it's the utility of the body, the utility of the thing. Like a tattoo gun and tattooing, its only utility is to tattoo. It's not like people used to tattoo themselves because it was necessary, and then everyone was like, "Oh, this thing's quite cool for this specific job we do. Let's turn this into making pictures on people." Like, I kind of think that's kind of not it. Yeah,
you are right. Like tattoos aren't it, and I actually think the cave painting thing is a bad example. But like, for instance, taking a spear and turning that into a decorative
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah,
or like,
and then saying, "I'm not going to throw this one anymore. I'm just going to hang this one up and make it look cool."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'll give one to my mate Ugg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you keep using it, but you have decorated it to represent you while you use it. Like, for instance, those guys in Southeast Asia who decorate their trucks, they're still using those objects, but they've decided to make something of it. I guess the ultimate and probably the oldest example I could think of is something like a decorative bowl. Like, you had a bowl, it was just for eating out of, and then someone went, would it be cool if we just put some lines on it? Those lines don't do anything, they don't add anything, they're just there to be decorative. But over time, you might say, well, as a culture, my tribe, we do these kind of lines and all our pots look the same, and this pot is my way of expressing myself. Even though when it first started, it was just something to eat my
all bowls
were
the same, regardless of culture. Yeah,
exactly. And I just love the idea of creating beauty and art out of something with utility, and creating beauty and art out of the everyday life. And I think that, in truth, I think folk art probably stretches back for as long as we have had the idea of, it'd be cool if I could make my thing look better. Like, I wish my spear had a feather on it. You know, that'd be cooler than just a spear, wouldn't it? If I just tied a feather on it, that'd be wicked.
Yeah.
And it will keep stretching until we're fucking decorating the microchips in our brain. Like, it will never end. Like, take fucking my computer. My computer is an object of utility. It does nothing. The big flashing lights and the glass panels and the fucking water cooler and all that shit don't do anything. But they're just there to make it better.
To represent that you fucking love computers.
And that is my pitch. I think folk art is the greatest art movement of all time because it represents the people. It represents taking something that you use and just purely expressing yourself. It is the purest form of expression, the oldest form of expression, and therefore I think it is the most all-encompassing and therefore the best.
Nice. I like it. I do like that. I like making shit. So I like doing woodwork, and I've got all sorts of tools and stuff here. So I like taking stuff and making it look as good as possible. But I totally get the whole, like, something has a utility and then it evolves beyond that to represent your culture. Like the trucks in like Thailand and these kind of places, there are those same trucks all over the world, but only in that particular place do they decorate them like that. And then you have like the American trucks, like they spray paint all crazy stuff on them. And then you have, like, in Britain, we do things slightly differently. We get our trucks that only have utility, and we get a bit bored, and we call them like Gritty McGritface and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I totally understand the concept of it, which is good, because for a dumbass like me, it might take me a minute to understand the concept of what you're talking about, but I do understand it. And I do think it's cool. I do like it.
Well, thank you very much.
So that's a great shout. That is a great shout. We'll have to see what Vinny's got, but you've done a good job, Seb.
Thank you very much.
Now for the quiz. For the middle bit. The little bit that we do in between the two presentations. Now, this is normally a quiz centered around the topic we are discussing.
We're not doing it on XG again, are we?
No, we're not doing
because I don't know anything about art, like proper art. Honestly, I could not do a fucking quiz about what is proper art. But as we said, art is all about expression, Seb. I'm so glad you went first. So I have got a quiz, 2 rounds of stuff that I consider art, right?
Okay.
And they're just easy questions. These are all very easy questions. It's just for a laugh, all right? So don't shout at me because it's not about, like, art. I think this shit's art. So, Vinny.
Okay.
You can go first.
Thank you.
First question of section 1. You can guess the subjects of each section when I go.
It's like a fucking GCSE paper. First question, section 1, part A. I.
You have to guess the topic.
I don't revise for this. Shit.
Who, Vinny, here's your first question.
Yeah.
Who was the youngest player to score 100 Premier League goals?
For fuck's sakes. Is it all just going to be football stats? For fuck's sakes.
No, it's not all football stats.
Okay. So it's just a random quiz of random things you like. Okay.
No, there's 2 sections. And there's 4 questions in each section. So you've got two questions each for each section, and both questions have a theme.
Who's
Right,
the
section
youngest?
question one.
Who is the youngest player to score 100 goals in the Premier League?
Yeah, 100. Who was the youngest player to score 100 Premier League goals? So when they scored 100, they were a certain age. That's the youngest age anyone's done it.
Ooh. Ooh. That is a good question. I'm trying to think of people who basically played in the Premier League the longest. I'm gonna go Wazza, Wayne Rooney, just because he played in the Prem since he was like 16.
That is a good shout. It is unfortunately wrong. The answer, no, Theo Walcott didn't score 100 Premier League goals. The answer I thought was obvious. It was Michael Owen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cool.
He was just banging them in at a young age.
Yeah.
Seb,
Yeah.
First question for you. As well as Mesut Özil, which Arsenal player was also a World Cup winner in 2014?
I know.
I know too. Yeah,
I know you know.
these are quite easy questions. I didn't make this like who was fucking Beth Means actually. I tried to make them quite straightforward.
I can't think of it.
So who was in the Arsenal squad and German who won the World Cup in 2014?
It's not. I mean,
and it's not Mesut Özil because he's the other one.
Is it a defender?
I'm not giving you clues.
Oh no, Podolski was fucking Polish, wasn't he? Fuck. I can't even think of a German Arsenal player.
Kai.
Podolski was German, but he wasn't. He wasn't in the squad at that time. Yeah.
Oh, I should have just said Podolski. At least I would have got some of it right.
Yeah.
I literally cannot think of it. I just keep wanting to say Per Mertesacker, but I don't.
Can I steal it?
Is that right? Is it Mertesacker?
Yes, it is Per Mertesacker. Well done.
Oh god,
no, it's not.
I don't know where I dragged that from. I
yes,
pulled
it is.
that out of my brain.
It's Mustafi.
No, it's not. It's Per Mertesacker.
Mustafi won the World Cup in 2014.
But he wasn't playing for Arsenal. He must have.
At the same time he was playing for Arsenal. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Nice. Well done.
As well as Mesut Özil, which Arsenal player was also a World Cup winner in 2014?
Can't believe I pulled that out of my ass. I literally
did. That was I can't believe you pulled that out. Yeah. Vinny, Manchester United broke the British transfer record in 2016 on which player?
Paul Pogba.
Paul
Paul Pogba was the right answer. I thought it might catch people out because people think sometimes Di Maria, but Paul Pogba is the correct answer. Okay, Seb,
I love the
question.
idea that you're like, people think sometimes Di Maria. No one is thinking about these things.
Yeah, I didn't think Di Maria in a million years.
I think about these things. Seb, last question of section number 1. Who has scored the fastest hat-trick in Premier League history?
So it is just all Premier League in the first section. Fuck's sakes.
Yeah, it kind of was, yeah.
I hate this quiz.
Is it Ian Wright?
Are you locking that in?
Yeah.
Not Ian Wright.
What was the question again, sorry?
Who scored the fastest hat-trick in Premier League history?
Oh, Sadio Mane.
Vinny, I'm going to have to give you another point. It was Sadio Mane. That's correct.
Southampton.
How'd you know that?
Southampton.
2 minutes, 46 seconds, I believe.
Because it was a 2-minute, 46-second hat trick. Like, have you not seen it? It's insane.
Seconds. I might be wrong, but it's fucking insane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Just imagine that the whole clip from when he scores the first goal to them kick off twice and scoring the third goal is 2.5 minutes long or so.
That's nuts.
Crazy. It is nuts. I might need to write a little V there because Vinny is on 2 points. Right. Sebek. Over to you. Section 2. There's a new theme.
Is it going to be Serie A?
No, it's not football. In 2015, the first 6 video games were inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame. 4 of these were Pong, Tetris, Pac-Man, and Super Mario Brothers. Can you name the other 2?
The other 2?
Okay, I'll give you one of them. One of them was the 5th one was Doom. Can you name the 6th one?
So what? Name all 5 of them again.
Pong, Tetris, Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers, and Doom. And there was one more. inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015? I was going to make you guess all of them, but
Wolfenstein.
Incorrect.
If it's not Club Penguin, I'm leaving.
Vinny, I can't believe you didn't get this. It's
No.
World of Warcraft.
No. Hang on. Let me.
I'm giving it to you.
What, did you say it?
Yeah.
What did you say? Did you say Lara Croft?
No.
Oh, yeah. Let me guess then.
Okay,
You can work it out from that, I think.
Fucking. The problem is, there's like more than 20 games.
Is that?
I might have to stat check that. I might have to
Angry
get a fact
Birds?
check.
Hang on, Fortnite. Say Fortnite, Vinny. It's got to be Fortnite.
FIFA, which one?
Minecraft. Subway Surfers.
Was it a Nintendo game?
No.
Yeah. Fucking, I don't know.
Wow.
Old school RuneScape. I don't know.
It was WoW.
It was WoW.
It was WoW. Yeah.
Oh. Why?
Wow.
I don't know.
Why did they put that in there?
They are the ones that what I know. I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
You're going to try and make us name all 6?
The thing is, the other ones I get, like, and they're all because they're all like really old school games that sold like millions and millions of copies. Like Tetris, I don't know if Tetris is still the most sold game. I think maybe like PUBG might be, or Fortnite or something. But it was for like or even Minecraft, yeah. But it was for like years and years and
yeah.
But like WoW, I mean, like, yeah, it's the most popular MMO, but like, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Okay, so that is Vinny. You're still on 2 points. Seb, you are on 1 point. Vinny, your next question. What is the name of the brother of Solid Snake?
I've never played these games. Brother
I'm going to give you a clue.
Solid Snake.
I'm going to give you a clue. You should be able to work this out. When I tell you, you're going to be like, that's where that reference comes from. Fuck.
Okay.
What is Solid Snake?
Who was the what's the brother of Solid Snake called?
Are you giving me a clue or no?
That was the clue. You'll
it's
Solid Snake.
Solid.
Liquid Snake. I don't know.
Yes.
Is it really? Oh, so that's where Liquid Chris comes from.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I always
There's
wondered why they called him Liquid
There's
Chris.
the fucking light bulb. I know, dude. I read that. I was like, no way. I'm.
That's great. That's
Solid
great.
Snake, Liquid Chris. Yeah, that is where that comes from. Damn. Yeah, there you go. So, before you hated this quiz, Vinny.
It's a terrible quiz, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, well.
Now that I'm winning, I'm enjoying it.
It's all about expression, bro.
It's a terrible podcast, but I'm enjoying it. That's what I hope most people think about this show.
Yeah.
Seb.
Yeah.
Better fucking get this one right. This is such an easy one. Vinny, don't even make a facial expression. Which Pokemon is listed as number 1 in the Pokedex?
I don't know. I mean,
go on, mate.
But does it begin with? Is it done alphabetically?
No.
Diglett.
Yeah, Diglett.
It's not
Diglett's
Diglett,
number 1.
It's not Diglett.
All right, let me have another go. Is it one of the starter Pokemon you get on Pokemon Red? Squirtle.
Bulbasaur, mate.
Oh, it's gonna say fucking Bulbasaur.
It was back in Bulbasaur.
You should have said. Who was the first Pokemon? Because technically, there's like 4 different answers, isn't there?
Yeah, because everyone says like Rhydon.
Rhydon was the first ever Pokemon ever made. Bulbasaur's number 1 in the Pokedex. Then like Mew was the first one, and then Arceus was also the first one. I don't know.
He's like the god or whatever. There's like the lore ones, then there's what was the one that was actually created, and then there's which one's number 1. It gets fucking too compared. Well, Seb, you actually can't win the quiz now.
Let's carry
Vinny,
on.
Vinny, you can smash him 4-1 with a right answer here. Although I know you know the answer to this question.
What about the other one? What about the other question? Is there another one?
No, this is the last question, and I know
just
for
give
a
it to me,
fact
just
you
give
know
it
the
to me.
answer.
Hang on, you didn't do a tiebreaker. What kind of unprofessional outfit is this?
Well,
I
when I'm
thought
beating you
8 questions
3-1,
will be enough to split them up.
when I'm beating you 3-1, you don't need a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
Happy birthday,
Vinny,
by the
you
way,
are
Seb.
100% going to get this, but maybe let's see if Seb can get it. If because I know for a fact you know it.
Okay, I'll hold my mouth if I know it.
The PlayStation was developed after an aborted deal with Sony and which other company to create a CD-based console? So Sony were collaborating with a particular company, but that deal went down the pan, so then they created the PlayStation. But originally, the PlayStation was going to be created by Sony and...
Yeah, I know what this is. What are you saying, Seb?
Who?
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Are you fucking... Mum, can I get Happy Meal this month? Why? What's the price? It's a fucking PlayStation. It's a play... Oh, get free. PlayStations don't come in Happy Meal, Seb.
I know, but you know, it's like... Hang on, let me have a think. I mean... Sega?
Oh, it was Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nintendo and Sony were trying to make a CD-based console. Nintendo pulled out of the deal, and then Sony were like, oh, fuck it, we'll do it then. And made the PlayStation. That's how the PlayStation was born.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the Japanese to pull out.
Racist?
I don't get it.
Is that a sex quote?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't think it makes sense, really.
Probably racist.
Anyway.
Let's just put that at the probably racist.
We'll put a pin in that.
No, I didn't do a
maybe
voice
racist.
or anything.
Yeah, but you joked
didn't
about the
do a
Japanese.
Yeah, I can joke about other cultures.
You made an expense. You made an expense at a non-white culture.
Japanese are white.
They're not.
They are white.
No, they're fucking not.
Japanese people are white by default. They are. They have the skin
Are
color
they not?
white.
Are they not? There's the whole
They're
Caucasian
Asian.
thing.
They're Asian.
They are Asian.
Yeah, but
What do you mean?
You
Yeah,
can
but
be
they're
Asian
Asian.
white.
They're Asian.
Asian isn't a skin color.
Anyway, should we just move on?
White isn't a skin color. Pink, mate.
Yeah, I know, but like when you say black, you mean like the color black, as in the
Yeah, but
skin color that is dark.
When you say white, you mean European. When you say Asian, you mean Asian. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah, so.
Well, Americans are white.
Yeah, but that's because they're from European
They're
descent.
fucking stupid,
You fucking
mate.
idiot.
Americans are
that's
fucking
right.
stupid.
I'm googling it now.
Okay.
Asian
Well-
white.
Indians are
Seb finds out
Caucasian. Indians are technically Caucasian.
Yeah, that was it. I was like,
Yeah.
Caucasian has got a weird word. It actually is not used to describe like white people as
The
we see Europeans.
Japanese white.
What is this weird bit you're trying to like? This weird hill you're trying to die on.
Do the Japanese consider themselves? No, they don't. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they're Asian.
All
You
right,
fucking idiot.
I'm fucking glad we cleared that up. We can cut all that. Well, Vinny,
Fucking what colour do they think they are?
All right, let's just move on.
This is
Let's stop.
ridiculous.
Let's
This
just
is gonna
move
get
on.
out of hand.
Let's just move
Something's
on.
gonna get said.
Stand.
Right, back in the room. Right. After that incredibly riveting artistic quiz by me, Mork, thank you. Vinny, how do you celebrate your victory over Seb?
With
By
a tactical.
dunking on him with my incredible speech on art movements on
Well,
his birthday.
I would love to hear you talk about art and shit for 15 plus
bet you
minutes.
would.
So let's go. I actually would. So yeah, go on then.
Okay. Art means a lot of things to a lot of different people. Religions have long since used the beauty of sculptures and paintings to bring people closer to their God. Just look at the Sistine Chapel, for example. By the way, when I was looking this up, I thought it was the 16th chapel. Let's move on from that.
Even I knew it wasn't the 16th chapel.
You thought it's the 16th chapel?
I thought there were like 15 other chapels, and this was like the big one.
I think we discussed this in Goat Painter Decorator.
I think we did. I think I forgot. I forgot again that it wasn't the 16th.
Oh
You forgot again.
You can't forget twice. That's ridiculous.
The whole point of this podcast is to educate people. We didn't even manage to educate ourselves. It's the
It's because
16th chapel.
The
Oh my
16th chapel.
goodness.
Anyway, just look at the 16th chapel, for example. Others have used art for more selfish reasons, however, like an 18th century nobleman paying an artist to capture their good side on a canvas just so that their legacy can live on longer than they can. However, art can be used for much greater things, in my opinion. So this is why I actually kind of disagree with what you said earlier, Sebek, when you said you can't really say one art movement's better than the other, because this one, my one, is it has a positive impact. It's not just.
You didn't have to do the voice. You didn't have to do the voice.
The voice was disrespectful.
Sorry, happy birthday, Seb. I keep forgetting to be nice.
No, I think let's be fair. It shows for all Seb's pissing and moaning that we don't actually like him. It shows how highly we regard him as a friend, in the fact that we don't just cut him some slack because it's his birthday. We're still going to take the piss out of him. Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. That is from me and Vinny. That's a true sign of friendship, Seb.
Yeah, you fucking rat.
Yeah.
Blow out your candles, you rat. Welcome to the 27 Club, bitch.
Oh no.
It's not bullying.
All right,
Please, people of the internet, Seb's only joking when he says we're not friends. We're not bullying him much. Right, Vinny, carry on anyway.
So anyway, yeah. So that's why today I'll be telling you, Michael, and listener, why I believe that street art...
Yeah, right. What again? I've been missed. Why am I not involved?
Well, your opinion doesn't matter. Well, because
True.
it's because you're the other guy. It's not, I'm not digging at you. It's just because you're the other guy. I don't have to
27.
convince you. I'm going to
go and fucking kill myself and then write my letter to my 2 acquaintances. My suicide note.
You need to put it in the right postbox, because otherwise I'm not going to read it. Vinny, what was... I didn't even hear what his big reveal was.
Anyway, so that's why today I'll be telling you all why I believe that street art is the greatest art movement of all time.
That's Banksy and shit.
Okay, this doesn't have much of a transition, so I'm just going to go straight into it. 16 years after the fall of Nazi Germany, Berlin... Okay.
What?
Yeah, I haven't... I wrote all of this out, and I didn't even read it back, so it might be really bad.
That's the equivalent. That was the podcast equivalent of someone opening the curtains on a really bright day when you're in bed. It's like,
Shit, it's Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Street art is the most beautiful art in Nazi Germany.
fuck it out.
Basically, okay, so I kind of wrote my script in the sense that I've got like kind of 1 or 2 points, but instead of me just saying those points over and over again, I've got like a good 3 sort of chunks that kind of... what's the word? Back up my point, and like this is why this point is good, kind of thing. Right. So
Let's just hear it. Let's just go for it. I don't care. Just boom.
boom. 16 years after the fall of Nazi Germany, Berlin was a city split in 2. The Soviets, not wanting its citizens to flee to the western side, erected a wall that spanned and enclosed the entirety of East Berlin, cutting off friends, families, and communities who were once a stone's throw away from being able to contact each other. The people lucky enough to be on the west side did not stand idly by whilst this happened. They began painting their side of the wall to reflect the emotions and the stance they had on this destruction of freedom. Artists used this once physical representation of division as a blank canvas for them to protest their own ideals of individuality and a stance against the machine that was the Soviet Union. Decades later, after pressure from the East German people became too much, the Berlin Wall was finally torn down. And as communities were finally allowed to merge once again, a strange thing occurred. Artists kept on using the now defunct wall as their personal open-air gallery, showcasing their protest to the world.
How long was the Berlin Wall up for, sorry?
28 years. It was 1961 to 1989, so like 28 years.
Fucking hell. Sorry to go off.
Over 100 people died trying to cross it as well.
The Berlin Wall is mad. Like, I still can't get my head around it, that it was like a real thing, and like everyone just not got on with it, but they kind of did. Like West Germany and East Germany just set up, they just like, we're one, all of a sudden you're one country and then you're just two, and you just go, well, we'll just set up different football teams then. Like that kind of stuff. Like, well, this is it. Like, it's crazy that was just there for like 30 years. They were just like, well, it's what it is. There's a big,
The really strange thing is that Berlin is in East Germany. Like when it was West and East Germany, it was like halfway through East Germany. So to get to Western Berlin, you had to go through East Germany, which is kind of wild to me.
It is crazy. It's crazy. They just went, fucking build a wall. Right, use lot over there, use lot over there. Fucking shut up and get on with it.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's mad. It's mad.
Well, much of the murals that you can see on the Berlin Wall today, especially the famous fraternal kiss picture, which you may have seen, which is basically an image depicting a Soviet leader and the then East German president kissing, open mouth kissing. All of these murals were painted just a year after its fall. No,
it did. It did. There's a picture of it.
Wait, it actually happened. What?
Yeah, I
can see a black and white picture of it. The fraternal kiss.
Yeah, isn't it just a...
No, it seems like they accidentally did kiss on the mouth.
Oh, shit, you're right, actually. I didn't know that. Okay. Shit, cool. Anyway, and someone made a nice painting of it.
Yeah, sweet.
Sweet, dude. Cool, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all of these murals that you can see today were basically just painted just a year after its fall, and they stay to this day in present day as a reminder as to how the population felt and still feel about the horrors which took place for nearly 30 years. Street art has always had this connection with protesting or with getting an important message across to the masses. Some of the most popular artists in the postmodern era have been street artists, like Banksy, for example.
Yeah.
Hang on, I can never pronounce this guy's name. Jean-Michel Basquiat is probably my second favorite artist of all time. Van Gogh is the number one in my heart. But Jean-Michel, if you don't know, he was a black American who lived in Brooklyn. He first achieved notoriety in the late 70s as part of a graffiti duo named Samo. As his fame grew, his art evolved from purely graffiti-based to the canvas, where he would combine his political ideas of wealth versus poverty and integration versus segregation with the stunning visuals of traditional African art, which is, that's I guess, kind of folky art in a way, African folky art. Him growing up as a black American gave him his own unique perspective on these political issues, which culminated in one of his masterpieces, Defacement, being painted in 1983. A piece which depicted the violent and brutal murder of a fellow black graffiti artist, a man by the name of Michael Stewart, by the hands of the New York City police. Where have we heard this story before, by the way? Yeah.
Yep.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
His death profoundly...
Didn't General Shepherd say that?
No.
General Shepherd says that in Modern Warfare 2.
It's just a saying.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
War War never changes. War is always changing.
There is some good quotes in those games where he's like, history is written by the victors. Well, we're not going to let this cunt write his own books and stuff like that. It's not.
He says cunt.
No, he doesn't actually say that. He says something really philosophical about how, like, history is written by the victors and stuff. It's really cool and philosophical. He doesn't say that, but it's quite good. Anyway, it's totally off topic.
So the death of Michael Stewart profoundly moved Jean-Michel. How do you pronounce it? Is it Jean? Do you know Seb? Is it Jean-Michel?
I thought it was Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Jean-Michel. What is it, like, kind of French?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'll go with Jean-Michel. So the death of Michael Stewart by the hands of the New York City police profoundly moved Jean-Michel, as he would tell his friends and family that, quote, "it could have been me." He was literally... He was a black American graffiti artist, the same as Michael Stewart. And he was basically the reason why they took him, arrested and beat the shit out of him, was because he was found graffitiing in the subway in New York City. So, like, it could have been him. He used this unjust murder on a fellow creative as inspiration for his art piece, and it still serves as a powerful protest against the racism of the American police force to this very day. The racism against... It serves as a powerful protest against the racism of the American police force to this very day.
It's important to get those words the right way around. It is.
Blue Lives Matter and all that.
So that you don't fucking support the wrong side there. You've got to... fuck the police is what we're saying. They're racist bastards. That's quite...
Yeah. That's what we're saying.
But just so we're all on the same page.
Taking things a bit further back, a bit earlier, I want to talk about brutalist architecture.
Here we go.
And the curtains are open again.
Nazi Germany, brutalist architecture. Black men are getting beaten in the streets. This is what art's all about. See, you can tell I just wanted to talk about history here. After both world wars had ended...
Oh my God.
Europe as a whole was in a much different place than where it once was decades prior. The once immaculate and pristine buildings built by rich oligarchs, which littered all throughout Europe, started to be seen in a kind of different light by many of the citizens. They became these permanent reminders of the unfair wealth which the powers that be lorded over their populations. Paired that with the fact that many of these buildings, they had just been bombed to smithereens and people desperately needed new homes built pretty quickly, brutalist architecture became the new popular thing. These new styled buildings were not only cheap and quick to make, but stood in complete contrast with the highly ornate and detailed and decorated buildings of old, favoured by the elite classes. So much of the continent quickly became infested with these new high-rise buildings and horrible grey cinder block monstrosities, which catered more to function than to form. Now, the problem is, many decades later, Europe has modernized. Many places, many countries have more or less either abolished their monarchies or basically just made them pretty much powerless and just there for the tourists. So the old resentment people felt for these old-fashioned, beautifully styled buildings and the empires which funded them have kind of more or less disappeared. But do you know what hasn't disappeared?
Yeah, it's kind of been forgotten. Yeah.
Those fuck ugly grey blocks people call houses and offices. Those are still fucking here.
Yeah.
But street art saves the day. Thanks to the ever-growing cultural appreciation of street art, a movement once referred to as delinquent art, we now have incredible murals and depictions of actual beauty spread across these once Soviet-looking skylines. Now, obviously, the city I live in, Bristol, in the UK, that's no exception. If you go to the city centre, it is just completely filled with just all this like incredible street art, graffiti. Banksy obviously came from Bristol, and that's all around. And the local government actually does entice artists to paint and draw on all these buildings.
Yeah.
Allowing
they don't punish it, do they? They allow it. They kind of encourage it.
Yeah. Allowing artists to spread their wings across the architecture. Street art is not just confined to the often elitist and snobby art exhibits where only the rich and the powerful may observe in person. It's an art movement which stands in complete defiance of the powers that be. It's forever been a tool for the people, of the people, for the people, to demonstrate not only their political and humanitarian beliefs to the world, but also their own ideals of beauty. In my opinion, it is the purest form of art, and maybe the only form which I could say has been nothing short of a positive impact on society. And that is why I think street art is the GOAT.
Oof. Big oof.
Also, the first meme ever was street art.
What's that?
Do you know that you might have seen a picture of it. I forget what it's called, but
I love how we quickly go. I was just about to wrap up street art and talk about it, and we just go, you know this meme, and we go, all right, we're like, right, fuck it, we're going to talk about memes for 10 minutes. Fuck it, go on. We'll get back to fuck street art. We'll get back to that in a minute.
I can't remember if it was World War One or World War Two, but it sprung up all over like Europe and stuff, where people would paint the same thing, and people say it's like considered the first ever meme. And it's like that picture of like some dude peering above a wall with like a big nose.
Yeah. That's
street art essentially. That it literally is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you know what a meme I fucking hate at the moment is that one? It's any video you click on it and it just starts playing like
just
like sex noise one. Oh my god! I go to the toilet, I sit on there, I'm Twitter, I'm like, oh shit, what did Jurgen Klopp say? Click on it, and it's just like screaming out of my phone. I'm like, for fun, I'm on the toilet now. What are they thinking?
That is quite funny though.
Yeah.
It's not though. It's not because it's like a cheap trick. But it's not because it's a cheap trick.
It's funny.
You can't not fall for it. It's not like you're not fucking stupid because you fell for it, because it's a cheap trick. Because sometimes the video is like 10 minutes long. So you're like, it just can't, and you click on it, it's just
Sound like a mixture of donkey and creaking door.
It's it fucking pisses me off. Memes as art, I'm sorry, I'm not having it, because that one just ruins it for the rest of them. Fucking pisses
I should have just picked memes as like the most powerful art movement. Pepe again. The lost episode.
But no, right. Let's talk like I said, let's stop talking about memes. Let's talk about fucking street art.
Right.
Yeah, big oof, because as you will recall, faithful listeners, fans of the show, if you go back through GOAT's lore, you will know we did GOAT artist, where Vincent chose, because they got the same name, Vincent van Gogh.
That's the only reason, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I chose, because we're both sick, Banksy, who is obviously, as Vinny just said, pretty big in the street art community, I reckon. Pretty big in that kind of...
He's up there, definitely.
He's up there. He's a big name.
Starting to make a name for himself. He's a breakthrough prospect.
He's starting to make a name for himself. The thing, no one knows who the fuck he is. But no, yeah. So, obviously, I like it. It's my probably favorite form of art, because it's the one, and I am of arts for everyone. Well, if it's for everyone, it's for me as well. I'm fucking stupid with this stuff, so I don't look at things and go, wow, that is... I totally understand the incredible contexture around that, but I look at street art and go, bang, I get your message, it looks great, I love it. Like, it's easy, for me, it's easy to digest, it makes a big point. They're normally about stuff I agree with, because I feel like it's quite a social art. It's an art that kind of comes from people being oppressed, maybe, or just that kind of like people in the Berlin Wall, they're putting art up there because they're like, fuck the regime. The guy in America, he's spraying because he's like, fuck the police, you know. Banksy, all these people, they're always kind of, you know, like you said about what's it called? Architecture.
Oh, brutalist architecture.
Brutalist, yeah, they're spraying like fuck the system, all that kind of stuff. And I can get behind that. I'm definitely a person for the people as well. So I absolutely love it. Which is probably quite good for Vinny in this respect. But I had never heard of what Seb was talking about, and I thought this was going to be the case. I'm glad that, because obviously I know about street art, but Seb spoke about something that I didn't know anything about, which is great, because I thought, oh, you know what? I'm hosting this one. I'm probably going to learn at least one thing, maybe two things, because I know so little about the subject. And Seb taught me something that sounds really cool. Like, I really like the idea of taking something that has a utility and then making it expressing through it and making it your own, and making
like,
it
for instance,
cool.
Decorating a wall or a building to make it feel, you know, turn into a form of expression. Like, that's turning something with utility into a form of art, isn't it?
No, as we discussed, you agreed that we don't really think decorating is the right thing. The cave painting example was a bad example where you accept words.
Do you know what? I thought I'd just try give it a go.
You played yourself. But no, honestly, it is really cool, because I do like that. Like, and I love something I actually think, oh, you know, I consider this art is fine skills. Like, when Seb was talking about his thing, I was thinking, oh, what, like, you know, people who can like work in factories on these machines really quickly. I kind of can see the artistic value in that. A mechanic who's really good at screwing in bolts and taking apart a gearbox, to me, that's an artistic skill. If, like, not everyone can build a gearbox. Like, it's incredibly difficult to do. But to me, the art is kind of within the skill. So I really also resonate with Seb's pick, and I really do like it. I actually really, really like it.
Yeah, but that's not folk art. That's like just engineering art, which...
I know that's not art, but I know that's not folk art, but I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I really like Seb's pick. But is another but. What Vinny was talking about was mad. You can't understate the power of the graffiti, of the spray art on like the fall of the Berlin Wall. You can't really get bigger than that. That's massive, and it means, like, the enormity of that means so much for so many people, and it goes through history all the way back to Nazi Germany and the kind of start of that ripple effect. And the fact that, when did it come down? The 80s, 90s?
89 it was, yeah. November 89.
And like World War II kicked off in what, 1938?
Yeah, 1939, 38.
That's a fucking huge amount of time for there still to be all of those that whole knock-on effect. Even today, like, it's not really a thing today, but even today, there are still tiny ripples of World War II throughout the world. There are. It was the biggest conflict in human history. And that art on that wall being permanently there, I'm so glad they didn't just fucking knock it down and just kept it there. It's like a permanent reminder of that.
Nice reminder, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like it's like
there's
the ultimate expression of oppression. That's where you get the ultimate emotion. Like, I think, Seb, what you're talking about was like, oh, I love Jurgen Klopp so much. I need to express that emotion so much. But I love it too. But that is quite superficial, because that's not, your life's not dependent on that form of expression. But when you're spraying the Berlin Wall, that is, imagine the emotion of like, your life literally depends on it. This is all you fucking know, and everything to you on that. That is the ultimate expression. And the guy in America, who I can't remember his name, Jean-Michel
Basquiat.
I won't even try. Like, again, that's the ultimate form of expression. He's seen this guy get killed by police, and he's like, like, this is so massive. This is going to be my mark. And so, like, it's just crazy how big it is, and it touches so many people. And all the people who are like, oh, street art's just vandalism. Like, fuck off, basically, is what my response is. Because it's not, is it? How can you say it's vandalism when it's protesting, like, huge scale of oppression? It's not. So just...
How can you say it's vandalism when you're not even driving a van?
Exactly. So I think... Street art for me has got to be the go. I'll try and... street art for me, I think it's got to be the go. Despite how much I love Sebs, and even on a personal level, I do really like it. It connects with me, and I'm glad I know about something else that connects with me. I think street art, just as a, like Vinny said, on the scale of like touching humanity and like the impact that it has, can't be understated. And it's an art form that comes from that extreme oppression, that extreme need. It's a need to express yourself because you're not being heard. You're being oppressed so far that the need to express yourself and spray the Berlin Wall is greater than any repercussion or anything else. And I think that's got to be the greatest art movement of the two that you two have said.
There's a really good, speaking of the Berlin Wall, there's a really, really cool picture of basically when the Berlin Wall was still up, I'm pretty sure, and you can see on the western side it's all just like super colorful with all these like murals, like crazy pictures and paintings and stuff.
I think I've seen this. Yeah,
and on the other side is like the most barren Soviet
blank
looking wasteland like ever. And it's so like the stark contrast between like somewhere that's literally 100 meters away is just insane.
It's mental. Wild. It is mental. And like when they were taking it down and people were like climbing over it and doing all this kind of stuff, because I might be talking about my arse here, but weren't their families like literally segregated?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That couldn't, like, your brother might be, he was on the other side when it got put up, or he lived over there, and now that's it.
You don't see him for 20 years,
30 years, like, that's nuts. That is nuts. And street art just came from that place. I think it's evolved and it's changed and it's done all of this stuff. But I don't think it's ever done bad things in the world. I think it's great, and it's a form of expression for the most oppressed people out there. So I'm going to say it's the greatest art movement of all time. I'm going to say it's the GOAT.
Nice. I'm glad you agree.
Speaking of the Berlin Wall and memes, can I send you a meme of the lamp from Pixar jumping and then the Berlin Wall collapses?
Sure.
I mean, you don't need to send it to me. Like, that's a pretty vivid image. I can kind of get the gist of that.
Sure. Let me send it to you. It's
okay.
Just the best.
It'll be in the WhatsApp.
Okay, listeners.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I've got
listeners. Just listen to us watching this.
But you did the sound is what makes it. The sound is what makes it.
If it's going to be a sex meme.
Of course, it's not going to be a sex meme.
If you do this, I'm leaving. I'm actually.
Oh, it's not. No, of course it's not.
Have you sent it?
No, I'm logging into WhatsApp Web. It's a whole fucking thing.
Oh right, we've got to scan the QR code.
Because I've got it on my. I found it. I found the meme on my PC, and I can't get it. Get it over. Give me a sec. But you do need the sound.
Right.
Yeah, I'll put the sound on for the listeners.
It better not be a sex noise, Seb. I will actually kill you.
No, it's not. You can see that. It's the fucking Pixar thing.
Hang on.
It's not. It's Pixar sex noise Vine.
No, it's not. What are you doing?
I can't even hear it, and I know that it is. Why can't I hear it?
Right. I'm just going to disconnect Sebek and kick him from the Discord.
No, God, that was a great bit. If you played it out loud, that would have been hilarious.
I did play it. I played it on the VODs. The listeners will hear it.
You know,
right. I'm so glad I didn't give you the one, Seb, because if you pull that fucking shit on me after that, I'll be rescinding it. 100%.
Oh, it's worth a shot. It didn't quite land as I wanted it to, but you know, fucking.
The thing is, I couldn't hear it, but when the video stops, it shows you what the title is.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it says Pixar sex noise Vine. But I could hear your other WhatsApp video. I just couldn't hear that one. But yeah, there we go. I mean, I think that was a great episode. There was a lot of laughs. There was a lot of education. Both your presentations were fantastic. My opening speech about XG was a brilliant piece of comedy and expression.
No, that was great.
The quiz was so on point about what it means to be art and all that good stuff. But we had a blend of it all. So happy days. I don't know what we're doing next week, but if you enjoyed that, hit subscribe. Listen to us next week. We're doing something else. It'll be same sort of thing. Probably less chat about football before Seb jumps through the computer and kills me.
We're doing greatest footballer of all time.
Oh yes.
No. But we've got a big one next week. Actually, we've got a big one. Feel free to change it out if we're not ready for a big one next week. But at the moment, we've got Woat's musical grab bag.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So get ready for.
I remember us putting that down there. That is a good one.
The worst solo of all time. Still need to figure out who wants to do what on that.
Yeah, we can figure that out. That's going to be a good one. We haven't done a grab bag for ages, and we've never done a Woat grab bag.
Yeah, that's true.
So happy days for that one. Well, that's it. I've been Mork. Seb's been Seb. Happy birthday, Seb. Vinny's been Vinny. Catch us next time. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.